This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video.
You know, at some point, I think it becomes a fair question to ask, are Republicans trying to lose on purpose? Seriously, it seems like everything they've done in the last couple of months, no, really, the last couple of years, is just them doing everything they can to take any sort of victory, whether it's very insignificant, whether it's major, whatever, and for whatever issue, and try to turn it into a disaster, a failure, a defeat, all the above. It is getting really pathetic, and really, you can't defend this. I've defended John Thune in the past because we all know he has to deal with the Three Stooges in Mitch McConnell, Tom Tillis, Murkowski, and even Rand Paul. You have to deal with those four, really the first three, and that's why a lot of stuff really can't get done. I get that, but at some point, it becomes apparent that John Thune, he's not cut out to be a leader. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he is trying to appease a lot of people. Problem is, you have to also be a leader. And this debacle with DHS funding is a fucking joke. We all know what happened in the middle of the night with like three people on the Senate floor. They agreed to a garbage agreement with Democrats that gave Democrats no everything they wanted, essentially. Now, I know you could say, well, the reforms did not get through. I get that. Like, yeah, some of the reforms that Democrats were pushing, those didn't pass. I get that. But they still essentially gutted ICE and Border Patrol. Not just some funding, all of it outside of the big, beautiful bill, which I know the big, beautiful bill, it still is funding DHS deportation efforts. But that's it. It does not fund all of ICE and all of Border Patrol. There's people that have been working for months now that have not been paid. But according to the wise John Thune, this was a good deal because reconciliation. Listen, the original deal already had problems because you set a bad precedent where, wait a minute, the party out of power could essentially defund large chunks of the government if they don't like it. Not just a tiny 1% cut. They can just say no money through appropriations. They can hold the entire government hostage. Nobody can do anything about it. That is already an awful precedent to set. But you do it, and you don't even get anything of what you wanted? Seriously? It is a disaster, and the worst part is they're not even technically on recess. We all know this by now. The Senate has not been a recess for many years now. But today, they had a session that lasted like 5 seconds, and they all left. They said a couple words and left. And they'll do the same thing on like Thursday. And they're going to keep repeating it for God knows how long because they don't want to take 5 minutes to even try. Really? This is a fucking disaster. I don't care how they try to spin this. I know you got a Senator Hoeven of North Dakota. He's trying to spin this as well. You see, we're done negotiating with Democrats and that they're going to fund DHS via reconciliation. Okay, I actually support that. But here's a couple problems. A, if you're done negotiating with them, why did you agree to this garbage deal? Why? Why did you agree to this nonsense with Democrats? Why did you give them any kind of win? Why? Secondly, why didn't you at least try? Well, according to them, they don't even have a consensus to even try to do this. Yeah, you heard that right. The Senate GOP is so pathetic. They don't have a consensus to even try. They're trying to convince you that, oh, we can't send one asshole to DC for a day to even try to get unanimous consent. No, we can't do that. There's no consensus. Really? This is pathetic. This whole debacle over DHS funding has spiraled out of control. You took an easy win for Republicans because Democrats were the ones trying to shut down everything, push through insanity. You had a chance to win this issue. Now, best case scenario, it's a wash. Nobody really wins. Nobody really loses. It is a joke. You had leverage here. Democrats didn't. Now, you gave them everything they wanted, and you still don't got a plan. Yeah, that's the craziest thing about this. Even if their plan was successful to push through this bullshit, notice what they're saying. They haven't even thought of how they're going to fund it. They're just saying reconciliation. You're telling me you left Washington without anything actually passing or being agreed to. You still have DHS completely defunded right now. You leave Washington, it's still defunded, and you still don't even have a plan? Really? I am getting so sick and tired of these people. They don't even try. There's so much the Republicans could be doing right now to get anything done. Seriously, Mike Lee is 100% right. He's the only one that understands this. He's demanding that they convene the Senate right now. He's saying, get off your ass and actually show up to work for a day. At least try. Force Democrats to run back to Washington to gut DHS. Force them to do it. Wait, why do Republicans do this themselves? Why? I can't believe I'm making this. I'm not making this up, by the way. I wish I was. But they really have no plan for how they're going to fund it. They're just saying, oh, we're not going to negotiate with them. You just realized this? You have no way to negotiate with them? If you don't, why even try with 60 votes for appropriations? Why? Why keep that rule in place? Make it 50 votes. Or just something. Try something different. Try unanimous consent. Make Democrats pull games and try to prevent funding for DHS. They don't even try to do that. It is wild to think that despite all of this, this party still has a chance later this year. Usually a party this incompetent, this pathetic, they would have no chance of winning. And yes, some of the recent polls have not been that great for the GOP or Trump, but look at this. This is from Harvard and Harris, and it's not good for Trump. I mean, right here, it's Trump -10 for registered voters, likely voters -6. But really, considering this was post-shutdown, this is with the debacle in Iran, it's still not an awful position to be at. It's not good, but it's not historically bad that you can't recover from it. It keeps going. The generic ballot, right here. It's only D+2 to D+4. That's it. It was a 4-point shift post-shutdown. So yeah, Democrats right now are actually gaining momentum after the debacle of DHS and really the Iran conflict. But even then, this is not a historical 12-point lead. Some polls are claiming it, but you look at the actually halfway decent ones, Republicans have a chance here. I think Democrats still the clear favorites for the House. But guys, despite everything going on, this party still has a chance to win. They still have a chance to actually win. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. But they don't even try. It's not just DHS funding, by the way. Look at the Save America Act. People are begging for them to pass it. 59% of people say they want the Save America Act to pass before the midterms. Yeah, they want them to support it now. And voters are more likely to say that they're going to be more likely to vote for somebody if they pass this. Yeah, there are no downsides here. You not only achieve a major policy win, achieve something that the majority of people want, and really, 80% of Americans support voter ID. 75% support a proof of citizenship, etc., etc., etc. But people are more likely to vote for you. They're more likely to get out and vote for the GOP. It gives these GOP voters that right now may not be that enthusiastic a reason to vote. Like, oh my gosh, they actually passed something of note. But no, they can't even try this. You see the trend here? It's just, these are free wins that Republicans are just not using. They're not trying to achieve. They're not even trying. It's a bad look. And I agree with what Glenn Beck is saying now. He is saying that President Trump should invoke Article 2, Section 3, and basically force the Senate to get back to Washington, get off their ass, and actually do something. I agree with this. This whole debacle where they're not even trying, that's the biggest issue. I know I keep harping on this, but really, if they were trying to pass this stuff, people would be upset, but they would have their anger directed towards Democrats. They're the ones blocking DHS funding. They're the ones that are now saying they wanted to abolish ICE, abolish Border Patrol. They're trying to play games with TSA funding. That's a fact. That's what they're trying to do right now. But you don't even try to force them to like vote no on everything. Instead, you play defense when you should be on offense right now. Republicans right now had a golden opportunity yet again to force Democrats to oppose all this. You could be in Washington right now and force Coons to shut down everything. Shut down DHS. Make him say, no, we reject unanimous consent or whatever. If you would have tried, I guarantee you, you would still be in a very good position later this year. Because voters for the GOP, they're not really voting Democrat this year. This is kind of a myth some people are pushing. Really, it's just people are not going to vote on the right. These people are just done. They're saying, fuck you guys, I'm not voting. Except for a select few people. Outside of that, they're not going to vote. And that's not good for the GOP. They need these voters to vote to win. But you don't give them a reason to vote. Yes, the big, beautiful bill had good stuff in it. But this is a free win. We're not talking about a 50-50 issue. We're talking about 80-20 issue with the Save America Act. We're talking about an issue that if this was any other party that were blocking the funding for DHS would be a disaster for them optically. But no, Republicans, they don't try. They play these games and say, oh, now we're going to act tough. No more negotiating. Why were you working with them in the first place? When it was clear from the get-go, they wanted everything or the entire government's held hostage. I'm just trying to figure this all out. Like, what's the strategy here? Clearly, they don't got any. Even John Hoeven admitted that they don't got any strategy. There's no consensus. They don't even have a plan. So why are you out on vacation? Why are you not in Washington right now working on a reconciliation package, force it through, and then leave? Why? It's a very weird thing. It's as if these people are either incompetent, corrupt, or they want to lose on purpose. There are no downsides in trying. You actually win by trying. Your best case scenario, you get everything you want and you get a surge in enthusiasm. But no, you somehow took an issue where 99% of scenarios end up in a victory and you found a way to turn into a potential defeat. And now you're hurting Trump big time. I know the war in Iran's caused this also, but it's just the fact Republicans are not even trying. It's pissing people off. People are getting sick of it. They're demanding that you do something instead of playing these damn games with, oh, reconciliation is our plan, but we don't even have a consensus. And by the way, the funding would end in like 2 years. Fuck no. Make it 10 years. Make it as long as you can make it. And then we'll talk and then ram it through. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.